this is shocking stuff.
Yeah, this
is drama.
Huge drama in round one of the candidates. There it is. Apologies, wrong graphic. This is what I was looking for. It's Hikaru Nakamura playing with black in this game and against Fabiano Caruana. The All-American clash is where we're headed today. It was incredible. Let's dive right into this action. They're in Cyprus, classical time control, and Fabi starts by popping a pony on the board. D5 from Hikaru, and we get an English style opening here. Now, why not play d4 immediately? Well, white can actually look at some b4 stuff. And I mention this because Hikaru does d4 in a minute. He starts with e6. Now, you could go d4. And we're back in Queen's Gambit declined territory. But instead, we see pawn to g3. Catalan style. There he is, our good friend Alan, the chess playing cat. And now Hikaru goes d4. Now his bishop's on b4, so you can't go directly for those lines. And so Fabi just tucks this one in. The knight develops. It's all been seen before. This bishop streams into the game. Pawn e3. Hikaru plonks the knight on e7. It is the best square. If you'd put the knight on f6, then we won't go down the lines, but there's these wild positions where you push a quick b4, distract one of these pieces, and then picture things like queen a4 check. Picture knight takes and opening the bishop on this square and nasty diagonals. So this knight just helps solidify everything over here. Knight takes now played by Fabi. And it looks a really weird move. You're compromising your own structure, but this isn't the plan. No siree. Before you can say, Hikaru, this is no time to be playing hide and seek. And you're not very good at it anyway. There's a serious tournament going on. Fabi gains space over there on the queen side. Bishop takes, forced. Now we see this one recaptured, and it begs the question, why not take here, hit a loose rook, hang on a minute? Well, this is how you refute it. The bishop can block, or the knight. Let's run with this line. Pawn captures. It's not actually about taking here. That's not best. Remember, your rook's loose as well. Queen takes bishop is best, because then when the rook drops, you start with knight c3 to cover this pawn. Keep an eye on b1 as well. And this one's on the way, basically. You can't avoid it. Here comes bishop b2. That's a lost queen. You can kamikaze for a rook, but it's not enough. White is winning. So don't touch the pawn. Instead, we see castles. Good idea. Get out of dodge. Queen b3 now hits that bishop. And a really weird looking move. It drops off to a5. You know, somehow you want it back here or something, right? But if you do that, you're getting trapped. So this is why the knight develops into the game. Again, a pawn is offered. Let's see what happens if takes. We're in the analysis mode here. Well, this seems to be strong. It's a double hit on two pieces. This is the natural response, only response actually, to keep it together tactically. The queen can even win another pawn, but it gets even more dangerous. Okay, sorry, the knight's dropping. Queen drops back to stay with the knight. And then the bishop comes into the game. And the basic idea is that white's got bishops raking across an open board. Rooks come into the d file. Maybe a half open b file. Black struggles to develop. Okay, computer says it's playable, but it looks scary. So Hikaru doesn't touch it. He plays knight f5 and goes for it with that one. Bishop a3 hits a rook. Now, we're not going to go down every line here. Yes, you can take immediately. Hit that queen. She slides to a4, picks up tempos on the bishop. You know, there's a lot going on. But it's good for white, basically. So this is the best move. Now Fabi goes pawn d5. You can take that pawn. It's a different game. A rook quickly comes to the e file. There's an awful lot going on here, connected with loose pieces and a lack of development. Rook's not connected yet. So this is how things went. Knight hitting queen. She slides into a4, hits a bishop. You could take on c3. We didn't see it. Hikaru defends with the pawn, but hang on a minute. Look at this. And yes, he's seen it. Fabi, that is. But the whole point is that black's actually happy to give an exchange. You know, if you start doing something like this, well, you get a ton of play on the light squares, as we can see. Really exciting opening, this one. We see rook ae1 instead from Fabi. Now bishop d7 hits the queen. She drops back. It's move 16 and Hikaru goes for pawn c5. So much going on here. You know, why not takes on croissant? Well, yes, doable, but the bishop can take and black's fine. So why not take here? Well, yes, doable, but then again, black gets loads of play for the exchange. So instead, we just get bishop b2. Hikaru says, fine, I've offered it once. I'm not offering it again. Pawn b5 an idea. Fabi shuts it down with a4. a6 prepares it further. And so now we get takes. Bishop recaptures and the knight's plonked in the center. It's move 20. We're firmly out of the opening here. Such a fascinating, rich position. By the way, I said to myself going into this tournament, whatever game I cover on day one, and here it's an English opening kind of thing, is what I'm going to study on Lotus Chess next as the opening I want to go deep on. Please join me over there, download it, start learning the English opening with me. Let's see how much progress we can make on just that one opening in 14 days. Plus they do end games now as well, which is just nuts. So much value for what it costs, and it's free to get started. Seriously, give it a go. Let's go on a journey together. Skyrocket the rating in the English opening. Let's carry on with the game here. You could definitely go pawn b5 right now. It's a different kind of position. Feels like you should almost when you've geared up for it. But it wasn't played. Hikaru activates the queen. Takes. Pawn recaptures here. Rook e4 lifts into the game. And now we see takes that knight. I mean, it was incredibly powerful. This is why white also gave up the bishop pair, which you so often want to hold on to. It was a powerful pony. You could recapture with the rook here. It's a pin, but the queen comes here and wins a pawn. This was the game though. Rook recaptures. Fabi's saying, okay, I know the opposite coloured bishops are very, very drawish, but look at my bishop compared to your bishop. Let's play a few more moves here. It's an 80 odd move game. Mine is active and looking at your king. Yours is dead as a dodo, staring at a pawn. And that's why, although you've got the opposite coloured bishops, this is anything but drawish. White's going to attack on the light squares. Black can't defend properly on the light squares. Black wants to attack on the dark squares, but can't do so. Bishop's hit. First, the tempo picked up on the queen. She moves. Now this one centralises. I mean, really, it's a pope at this stage, not a bishop. Pope d5, or a wooden shield, as Hikaru would say. Rook f8's played. Sorry, king f8, preparing rook e8. And so that's why queen g4. You can't get this exchange in. You distract the king. The g-pawn's loose. So we got to see some more shuffling. Queen f5 is now absolutely killer, because you threaten to get in behind. Obviously don't sleep on the mate threat. The queen's got to stay with it. And if you step here, well, now the bishop slides back. You're heading in and it's decisive. If this, obviously it's awful. Everything starts collapsing. So this was really a killer. Fabi misses it. He plays queen e4. Now he's still ahead here, but it's not decisive. Hikaru's clinging on, and you're not going to believe how this game shifts around. It really is absolutely bonkers. Queen e7's now played. Queen g4. Fair few shuffly moves. Let's keep rattling through. Clock's ticking all the time, of course. They reached first time control at move 40. They get more time added, 30 minutes or so. Queen c7, and Fabi decides, you know what? Let's go to brilliancy town here. What do you think he played? He smashes this little piggy's house with rook takes on f7. That is awesome. And here's the deeper point than just this, trying to win the queen. After the rook blocks, forced so as not to lose the lady, you then play this as the follow-up. And it's how you win back your rook. King f8's on the board, because now after bishop takes, there's no longer a pin. Queen e8's played. Bishop bouncing around. Don't blunder your queen. And there we go. Fabi is going to work on these light squares. It is so difficult to defend such a position, but Hikaru's doing it like an absolute chess lion. You could block with the queen here, but then the queen bounces back. So we saw this one going for walkies. This one's in behind, but you can't quite nab the pawn. Stuff is covered. These aren't the most precise moves, but it's human chess. Now we see bishop f6, queen f7 check, and something stunning is on the way. It's in this position that you should play queen d6 as the best defensive try, apparently, but bishop e5 was selected, and Fabi misses an absolute killer move again. Queen e6 check. Now, if that one came to you, a pat on the back, no clue how you came up with that one. It's so good, because if you go to f8, let's show this one first. There's bishop g6, and it creates two mate threats. That's the problem. The queen can't stay with both. You know, if she tries here to stay with both and cover the bishop, then there's this, and the king can't move. All you can do is block with the lady, and you get slammed. So let's rewind it. That's what happens on king f8. If king d8, now f4. If bishop back here, there's this kind of check, and you start munching kingside pawns. If bishop back here, then this is the coolest one. You create this kind of zugzwang position. You know, where's black going here? When you actually stop and start staring at all the moves, you can't stay with all the threats. There's just too many, too much stuff going on. You can't even make a passing move. Say you try this, you just got mated. You know, what's your pass? This, you just got mated. This is the big problem. You don't have a pass. It's a zugzwang. So let's run it back. This was a killer, but Fabi plays the immediate f4. Chess is such a crazy game, how just a subtle difference of move order can make all the difference. Now when you're going check here, the king can run to f8, and this time after bishop g6, well, yes, you've got the double mate threat, but after queen e7, the bishop defended itself. So now when you do this, there's queen d8, and you're fine. That square's covered by the bishop. In the other line, the bishop's on e5, so you can't play queen d8. Okay, let's see what was played. King g2, queen d6, another check. Fabi's still better, of course. No two ways about it here. He's pressing. Pawn takes. Bishop e7. And now we get these ones running. And I probably should have mentioned, by the way, huge decision here to swap the queens. But Fabi had had enough of thrashing around, trying to checkmate. It wasn't happening. So he goes for this one. He wants to use the almighty bathtub, 4 against 2, to just wash one of these pawns home. King e7. Let's slip and slide it down. Bishop g3. g5's actually best. And this is instructive. You know, you create the outside passer. If you don't take, you try and pass a move. Whose move is it? g5. Let's say you do something like this. Well, now you take, and you got 2 running through the center of the board. But not found. This was. It allows Hikaru to blockade a bit more on the dark squares. Still white can push for the win, of course. But it's a good defensive try for black. Hikaru doesn't do it. King d5. Bishop h4. And now this move is just absolutely shocking. What does Fabi play here? Pawn f6. And he's throwing away huge amounts of his advantage. Because takes. This is his point. Check. And Hikaru's got a choice. c7 or e7. Where do you step? One of them's lava. One of them's not. The move he should play is king c7. But he doesn't find it. And the idea is that now when white pushes and distracts back the king, which is the best way to play, white can step in and you get a line similar to the game here where the pawns are being munched. But in this line, the king and bishop converge in time on the dark squares in front of the pawns. And amazingly, white just can't make any progress despite the extra pawn. You know, stuff like this is going on. and you can't make progress without going through every line, right? It's a dead stalemate, draw. But in the game, Hikaru plays the supernatural King E7 and it loses by force. Now you step in. Very similar lines to the game, but in these lines, you're kind of a tempo, maybe even 2 down. C-pawn runs, and you haven't got a king on D7. A bishop bouncing round already to here with check. So it's completely different. If you try and step back now, you know, something like this. Thought I had a line prepared, apparently not. But you can check something like this. There's also a bishop check. You know, bits and bobs like this. There are similar lines. The pawn's too fast. The king's too advanced. These ones are too far away to stop. It's a dead lost endgame. And Hikaru here resigned. Move 83. Huge result for the standings. Though I'll be honest, it didn't surprise me that much. Hope you enjoyed this fantastic game. Great to be back covering a major tournament. Have a look at the video on screen for some more epic chess. And do check out Lotus, link down below. It is truly fantastic. Let's go on a journey together. Learn the English opening. Thanks a lot and I'll see you soon. Cheers.